Warning, this video contains impossible amounts of blood, some sexual references, and language on the part of the game displayed here and on my part. Turn away if you're offended by such material. And yes, this should sound familiar. No More Heroes wasn't the only video game that featured bloody combat and unique boss fights. In that category, there's also MadWorld. Where No More Heroes' Travis Touchdown was armed with a beam katana, MadWorld's Jack Kamen has something equally awesome: an arm-mounted mechanized chainsaw. Sadly, MadWorld had low sales, which is unfortunate considering how great a concept it had. Featuring an indie hip-hop soundtrack that was surprisingly good, MadWorld had visuals that were literally black and white and red all over, and it rewarded you for increasingly violent kills with hilarious quips by Deathwatch's sadistic hosts. And to top it all off, the game had some seriously awesome boss battles. And this countdown is all about these bosses. Like my top 25 No More Heroes bosses list, I'm going to say what I think of every boss in the game, starting with my least favorite and going all the way up to the best boss in the game. Even though most of you probably haven't played or even heard of this game, I hope you all enjoy the carnage I'm about to present.
Come one, come all! Got 3 of these games under my belt, just don't get cocky. Who wants a piece of the champ?
To me, the Shamans did to werewolves what Twilight did to vampires, and what I mean by that is, this boss is horrible! This boss is a pack of werewolves that gang up on you throughout the whole gigantic arena, with its cowardly and insanely powerful leader being your main target through all of this. Especially when you consider that the level before this, the courtyard, was equally terrible, and believe me, I'm gonna get to that later. This whole fight is unpleasant, bland, and just not fun at all. Unless you enjoy getting swarmed by werewolves.
Who wants a piece of the champ?
MadWorld is a strange case. It's a game where giant robots don't make everything better. Case in point, Martin. Martin is a gray alien piloting a huge battle mecha, and an annoyingly dangerous one at that. And what kind of name is Martin anyway? Sounds like he'd make good friends with Christopher Johnson from District 9. You can't even so much as approach this boss without getting either trampled by it, sawed head on, or blasted by its missiles. Oddly enough, the only way you can effectively kill this boss is by blasting it to Kingdom Come with a missile launcher. Dude, that sucks! I want to cut things! Even the finisher isn't satisfying. In fact, it's just random.
What? I'm not gonna repeat myself.
Who wants a piece of the champ?
Oh damn! Frank is huge! And yeah, this battle looks pretty cool at first. Well, it was, until Frank starts to attack you. This guy is unfairly powerful, and he's able to deliver combos of insanely strong punches. It gets worse. If you fall into the water below, Frank can electrify the water for almost unavoidable damage. And it gets worse! If you don't attack this guy fast, Frank will retreat and regenerate a crap ton of health.
It's alive! It's alive! How about it's ass? It's ass!
Oh well, at least the finisher at the end of this fight is satisfying as hell.
I guess Frank just couldn't take the juice.
Who wants a piece of the champ?
I'm going to enjoy every moment.
Rinrin the Kung Fu Queen kind of reminds me of Chun-Li from Street Fighter. They both can kick your ass, but only Rinrin can kick your ass and then hack you to rivets with her gigantic fan blades. The fight itself honestly isn't great, Rinrin guards herself with her fans all the time, leaving you to either power struggle her to make her lose HP, or throw things at her. But aside from that, this fight is pretty memorable. I guess the first of many memorable things to mention about Rinrin is her weapons of choice. Second up is her power struggle, which is so sexualized it could be used in a Bond film.
This time, Mr. Bond, the pleasure will be all mine.
Last up is her boss theme, You Don't Know Me. It's used later in another boss fight that's higher on the list, but personally it works much better with Rinrin. It'll make you know that Rinrin's got attitude.
Kreese, didn't the two of you have a thing a while back?
If by thing you mean a 5-minute fight that left me spitting teeth and pissing blood, yeah, then we had a thing.
Who wants a piece of the champ?
I'll murderalize you!
Little Eddy may be as dull as a rock, hell, he looks the part, but he makes up for that in spades with his massive size, strength, and chain flail.
I don't get why they call him Little Eddy when he's so fucking big.
I think it's supposed to be ironic.
What?
You know, the use of words to express something other than, and especially the opposite of, the literal meaning. Usually a humorous or sardonic literary style or form.
You got beat up at school a lot, didn't you?
This monstrous, mutated Myrtleizing menace is MadWorld's first boss. And he's no slouch. I mean, he does exactly what you think he'd do with a weapon like that. Meaning Little Eddy's gonna try and cave your face in with it. Ironically enough, that is exactly what happens to Little Eddy during the fight's amazingly predictable finisher. At least the fight before that's pretty satisfying. In this fight's power struggle, Little Eddy gets a chainsaw to the face!
Who wants a piece of the champ?
The fight against the Yokozuna is a sumo wrestling match, with the slight advantage that you have a chainsaw. Sound one-sided? Not even close. The Yokozuna can jump sky high, grab a helicopter, and then throw it right on top of you. This battle's got 3 rounds, and in each one the result of the power struggle is different for each time you win it. But you have to wonder, getting impaled by spikes and getting electrocuted doesn't kill this guy. Is he made of fucking iron? Well, maybe. Both Iron and the Yokozuna can't stand getting launched into an erupting volcano. That's gotta hurt.
Who wants a piece of the champ?
After the sheer pain that was the Shamans and Frank, I had low hopes for Mad Castle's final boss. Shockingly though, Alize more than made up for these two bosses sucking. I mean, she's a vampire in this generation that, like real vampires, doesn't sparkle!
Awesome rack on her, though.
Oh, true that.
Armed with a massive collection of bats, Alize's pets swarm you and make things harder for you.
Awesome rack on her, though.
True that.
Yeah, you get the picture. While she's blinding you with her headlights, Alize can bite your neck, then disappear, and then blend into her surroundings while healing herself. While she does this, she can have her bats bum rush you from seemingly out of nowhere. Speaking of bums, this fight's finisher is... yeah.
Out the window with her wings clipped.
Who wants a piece of the champ?
Just when you thought you couldn't top Jack's chainsaw, we get a boss with a double-bladed chainsaw staff. So yeah, Shogun's a wicked boss. Though, I wonder why he doesn't have a given name. Shogun is just a title. So, what's up with this guy and Yokozuna's names? Yeah, that's like if I called Martin Alien and Giant Robot, Little Eddy Mentally Challenged Mutant, and Alize...
Awesome rack on her, though.
Okay, back to the boss. Aside from this guy's looks, this fight is actually really cool too. For each power struggle you win, Shogun suffers clothing damage, which makes tearing him up with your chainsaw loads easier. This fight even borrows a lot of stereotypical samurai film cliches, like fighting in a burning building and having a duel on the roof. All in all, this battle's great, and it's a worthy follow-up to the amazing level that was before it. Oh yeah, the spear. So satisfying!
Who wants a piece of the champ?
The duel with the Masters is one gigantic Star Wars reference. No, seriously. Before the fight, it says this. That, and these two use lightsabers, I mean magnet swords, and the Force, I mean electromagnetism. Most of the fight has you dueling each master blade to blade and then muscling through their telekinetic attacks. And when the deed is done, we get a hilariously fitting finisher to boot. But there's one thing about these guys that doesn't make sense. The masters share the same health bar. How the hell does that work?
The Force is what gives the Jedi his power. It's an energy field created by all living things. It surrounds us and penetrates us. It binds the galaxy together.
Who wants a piece of the champ?
MadWorld has a few biking stages, and all of these have surprisingly good control. But there's also a boss fought on a bike. A mysterious doppelganger of Jack called Kojak. Kojak is fought in an arena wide enough for you to chase him down and shred him and his bike to bits, with some neat tricks and an aerial power struggle. This fight plays so well that I honestly think that this fight is what the Ryuji bike fight from No More Heroes 2 should have been. Now, Kojak himself bugs me. He's from a science-themed area, so I guess he's a clone of Jack. But what I don't understand is what the hell his accent is supposed to be.
I'm gonna fuck you!
Fuck, man! Fuck!
Kojak, the ambiguously South African ambiguous clone.
Who wants a piece of the champ?
Well, howdy, rookie!
Jude the Dude is one of those bosses where what you see is what you get. And in this case, that means we get a kick-ass fight. Jude the Dude, known as the brokest back in the West, is a cowboy that skates along rails and dances around you, shouting and whooping in the air as he tries to put his foot in your face. Yeah. The ambiguously gay cowboy is annoyingly fast, but his spur-slamming days will end swiftly when you steal his guns and deliver one of the best finishers in the game.
And it exploded.
There was another finisher to this battle that was removed in favor of the one you just saw, and it makes me further question Jude's sexuality. But even in death, Jude the Dude is hinted to still be alive. Remember when I mentioned that the courtyard level was terrible? Well, a mini-boss called Deathblade appears in that level, and he does not die. He's a skeletal Grim Reaper that skates, after we just reduced a skating cowboy to a skeleton. Yep, they're probably the same guy, except he substitutes his spur kick with a scythe that kills you instantly. God, I hate this level!
Who wants a piece of the champ? Your life ends here.
I knew I was going to love this boss the instant I fought him. Von Twirlin Killer is such an original boss that it's downright hilarious. He's a German guy dressed in a suit that makes him look like a Nazi Darth Vader, and he has freaking wind turbines for arms that produce tornadoes to attack you.
What do you think the name Von Twirlin Killer means? I think it's Viking person who farts a lot.
Jack is such a tank that the tornadoes barely do squat. But in physical combat, Twirlin Killer is literally a force of nature. His arms of steel pack a huge punch, and even when you saw off one of his arms halfway through the fight, Twirlin Killer can use his remaining turbine to spin himself around to perform a spin kick. This guy also has one of the best deaths in the whole game, a kick-ass end to a kick-ass battle.
Everybody getting his ass kicked by Jack, raise your hand. Oh wait, he can't raise his hand, can he?
Who wants a piece of the champ?
MadWorld is a game that crosses the line twice, meaning that it's so brutally violent and tongue-in-cheek that it ends up hilarious due to how over-the-top it is, rather than offensive. And that's not just referring to all the hyper-violent finishers you just saw. Then there's this guy, the Black Baron. The Black Baron is a humorously over-stereotyped pimp that introduces all of the minigames in each level that are known as Bloodbath Challenges. During each introduction, the Baron, after introducing each game with his super stereotyped speech, gets used by his hoe as a living demonstration on how to kill your enemies in each game.
Oh, hell no!
But every time, the Baron survives. Kind of like this Baron. So yeah, I'm getting off track talking about the Black Baron. We're at number 1 now, the best boss in MadWorld. Well, it just so happens that my rank 1 is also rank 1 in Deathwatch, the final boss. Who could it be? Your sponsor, Agent 13? Or maybe the man behind Deathwatch itself? Or the Black Baron? What? The final boss of MadWorld is the Black Baron? Oh yes. And this battle is awesome.
Navy SEALs, Special Ops, come on, bitch!
In MadWorld's epic final battle, Jack and his chainsaw go toe-to-toe with the Black Baron's insane physical attacks in a sky-high boxing arena. Off on the side, geishas that you saved earlier cheer you on and heal you by throwing health items from out of their
Awesome rack on.
No!
On the Baron's side is his hoe, who's waiting to bludgeon you to a bloody pulp should he ever launch you out of the ring. The music that plays in this battle is one of the best final boss themes I've ever heard. Known as Look Pimpin', it's a very laid-back sounding song sung from the Baron's point of view. And this song is basically saying that Jack is cramping the Baron's style, so the Baron wants to deliver a pimp slap straight to Jack's face. But when the Baron loses half his health, all the calm of Look Pimpin' suddenly shifts into So Cold, a very angry song about how you've royally pissed off the Baron. The Black Baron gains several supernatural attacks in this part of the fight, including a lightning-fast kick, a rocket punch that can knock you straight out of the ring, and a black hole attack that's an instant kill. This fight is very tough, until you finally get to the last power struggle where Jack and the Black Baron trade blow for blow until Jack lays the final smackdown on the Baron. And to top the battle off, when the power struggle is over, you get to experience the pleasure of home running the Baron straight into a giant dartboard. Not before you find out that the Black Baron isn't even black.
Is this guy really a baron? No, as a matter of fact, he's not even black. Why is that, man? Why do you have to bring race into it?
Again, crosses the line twice. So in the end, this battle is the total package. The character is memorable, the music is fitting and just plain catchy, the announcer commentary is hilarious, and overall the fight plays out excellently. It's the greatest battle from an overall incredibly enjoyable game. I'm the Autarch of Flame, and I wonder, if the Baron survived all those other beatings by his hoe, will he return if they make a MadWorld 2?